Hello, people. My kids were in here yesterday messing with my studio, so my microphone is... they're so funny. Alright. Good morning, people. Simultaneous coffee sip. Alright. Hi, everyone. I'll start in like 1 minute. Gotta pull out the books for today. All right. Good morning. I was joking how, so my kids, like once a day, they will run upstairs where my office is, and they'll just find a way to get up here. Sometimes Jessica will tell them, hey, go tell Mitch it's dinner time. So Aristotle will run upstairs. And last night, it was funny because Jess had already brought me dinner, and I was hanging out on the Self-Perfected Hangout, and Aristotle comes up. I forget exactly how he said it. But he's like, dinner's ready. I was like, Mom already gave me dinner. He's like, dinner's more ready. Can you come down? Well, I'm eating dinner up here. Then he presumes to just find every single thing in my office that I have placed in a specific spot and totally throw it all over. And that's like what life does to us sometimes, right? You have your nice little plan. Your nice little plan, how you're going to do your thing. And then things get shaken up. But the real question is, who are you within it? So let's get into it. Guys, I'm pumped. I found this service called Restream. Holy cow, that's going to be for next week. I'm doing Mondays through Saturdays. I do this live stream in the morning. But right now it's only on YouTube. Y'all, next level is here. Restream. Shout out to that platform. I should be able to by Monday. So I'm going to use tomorrow morning to test this. But I should be able to by Monday morning be live on YouTube, X, Facebook page, Facebook profile, Instagram, Kick, all the channels. So, I'm picking my top 5 because I'm not trying to, break the thing. But, it's like you level up. And this, my friends, is what we're going to get into today. So part of why I like the live stream, and I get some great feedback from some of you, that I jump around, but I keep it coherent. You jump around, but you keep it coherent. Real talk, for all you who listen to this, could you go every single day and live stream 6 days a week for 45 to 60 minutes at a time? If not, why not? Seriously. I'm not doing this to be like, I'm special. I'm the special guy who gets all the attention. I'm doing this to prove to myself that I can stand in a position of influence in the system, so I could have a radio show and then also do political speeches and also, be out there in the world making things happen. But I'm not special. My whole purpose of why I do everything I do is to get thousands and thousands of other people to equally express as their highest potential, best potential, however you want to phrase it. Now, some of you might be a mom with young kids, and you're like, I'm never going to get into politics. I'm never going to host a radio show. I just like to raise my kids, and that's totally cool. But guess what? At some point, your kids are going to be 18. They're going to be out there moving and shaking, making stuff happen. Then what are you going to do? Maybe you'll have a podcast. Maybe you'll write a book. Maybe you'll write 20 books. Maybe you'll be like Isaac Asimov. How many books did Isaac Asimov write? Isaac Asimov wrote or edited. I want to know how many he wrote, not edited. I want to know how many he freaking wrote. Let's see how good the Google AI is. 357 original books out of over 500 total published volumes. Okay, so even for you, who's like, I'm at the season of my life where I'm just raising my kids. That's cool. I respect that. Specifically the people in our community who are intentionally raising your kids for a future that is very... it's the definition of a wild card. Even then, though, all right, I want to plant the seed, because where do you see yourself in 10, 15, 20 years? What if you write 358 books and one up Isaac Asimov? Okay. Guys, I want to talk about all sorts of stuff today. We have this cool book list. Oh man, my brain just explodes with all the different things I want to talk about. But Isaac Asimov is at the top of our list. Okay. If you don't know, okay, let's rewind. If this is your first time on the live stream, welcome. Talk about a lot of things, but it always comes back to you perfecting yourself, being that best version of yourself for real, and what that looks like for you to then, as your best self, influence the people around you. Because is the best version of you shy and you sit in the corner, or is the best version of you moving and shaking, making a real genuine impact on the people around you? Right, so that's the first thing I talk about. The other thing is how to change the system, because if you don't understand systems thinking and how our world works, you will devote your life to something you see as very important. Like, I'm going to feed the poor, or I'm going to, well, some of you don't even care about that. Some of you are like, I just want to get rich so I can go on vacation all the time. It's like, you get so damn bored of that. Like, we were just on a 4-day vacation. Well, but we hung out with our friends before. 4 days on a cruise ship was enough. It was the perfect amount. I wouldn't have wanted it to be any more. But also, if it was a little bit less, I wouldn't have appreciated it fully. But guys, you don't want to live in perpetual vacation. You want to build something really real. You want to have a real impact on people. So, I always talk about that kind of stuff on this live stream. So, the reason I'm bringing up the sci-fi is because a lot of you read too much self-help. You read too much self-help, you get all these conflicting ideas, like James Clear says, atomic habits. You must have these atomic habits that, will change your life. And then you'll read the book Flow by Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, that Slovakian guy, whatever his ethnicity is. Flow. Oh yeah, so Mihaly, this guy, right? And then you read Flow, and you're like, wait, I got to flow. So I'm supposed to have habits, and I'm supposed to flow, and then you get all fucked up. Like, the self-help industry and most books are brain rot. Now, you might say, wait, you hypocrite. You said you read 100 books a year, and you have a whole bookshelf behind you, and I'm holding up this book today. Yeah, it's because I'm not looking to it to tell me how to live. Let me say that again. I'm not looking to Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, this guy, to tell me how to experience flow state. I'm looking at it like a gold collector would go mining for gold on a mountain. It is 99% dirt. However, there will be helpful phrases and concepts in there by which I can relay my mission and my purpose. So that's where I look for it for. I'm looking for mental frameworks, vocabulary, ideas, concepts by which I can explain the same thing I'm explaining 10,000 times to find a way to get it across to every single person, because every single person on planet Earth is going to need to understand that there is a process you're going to have to go through as a being. Now, right now, you're a human being, but you are a being. Consider you've been here a very long time. And us, as a collective, we're going to go real deep today. Us as a collective, this will give you your flow state, right? So I know you like the idea of self-help. This is the real self-help. Because what is self, actually? You ever think about that one? You think self is just you sitting there, looking in the mirror, looking at yourself? Is that only you? Or is self everything and all things in totality, and you are an individualized form of it? If you didn't see my live stream on something called Holons, Holons, totally watch that one. You should watch all of them. Okay. So this process I'm talking about is a process of going from consciousness to awareness. Now, you don't have the context, a lot of you, to understand exactly what that means. But let me explain. Consider this. You're born into a body. You learn about the world. You mimic your environment. Now let me ask you, were you born into heaven on earth? When you were a kid, let's say you were a kid in the 90s, or early 2000s, or whatever. You might be older. Maybe you were a kid in the 80s. Was it just bliss everywhere? Were your parents just totally happy all the time? And like educating you on every single word in the English language, and educating you on how systems work, how money works, right? So now as an adult, of course, because you had this perfect childhood, you're now rich as fuck, you're happy, you know, your marriage, your relationships are just thriving, right? It's like, did that happen? No. Okay. So don't get me wrong. I'm sure on some level your parents meant well. Cool. But here's the thing. You were then born into that world, and then like a multi-dimensional imprint stamped in on you day after day after day after day. So you got programmed from good old-fashioned the Hollywood and the media empire. Now, where is that class? Here it is. Here it is. This. Hollywood and the stars, right? So you look up to the stars around you. You go, oh, my favorite actor, my favorite actress, my favorite TV show. I want to watch Disney Channel. I want to watch this. And then you start to mimic that. We got to get into mimetic theory sometime. We gotta go in on why Peter Thiel was so obsessed with that as a child, but that'll be a future time. Because Peter Thiel is now arguably one of the most influential people in the world, but we will get into that later on. So you're a kid, and then you get this multi-dimensional reality all around you, stamping in on you in every single moment. You're basically getting beat up by the world system. It's like you're getting punched with, think about it, every time you went to school, right, you're now around all these influences. And then you start to realize, like, oh, if I act in a certain way, people are going to make fun of me. So I better not act in that way. And, oh, I see that kid over there getting bullied. Ooh, I don't want to get bullied. Or, I don't know, the teacher's telling me something, right? The teacher's telling me this is why World War I happened. And you're like getting imprinted, basically getting punched or stamped over and over by the world. Okay? It's back to my point on consciousness, to awareness, and the process we're doing. So now you're a amazing little human being that is learning the world. You're learning how to walk, how to talk, everything. But now you're also getting imprinted, and you're getting a download with all the programming of the system. And like we just proved a moment ago, you were not programmed for heaven on earth and bliss. You were programmed to fluctuate between positive and looking at the positive, and then negative and suppressing the negative. And then every single word you ever learned, so your entire worldview, it now has a veil on it, because you're now having words, how you interpret the world, the words held within you, are now programmed, and they're corrupted. It's like a corrupted file on your computer. The process I'm talking about, and what every single human being is going to have to go through, we get to go through, is reprogramming ourselves. So as you are this individualized unit of life, here, in this amazing opportunity to create heaven on earth, which we don't have yet, you're now going to have to learn how to shed the old layers, like a molting process. You ever seen molting? Hopefully I don't get some crazy images. Oh, jeez. Molting snake. You ever see this? This is you. Cute little snake. Ah. Shedding the old. Molting, guys. Or let's do metamorphosis. By the way, back to sci-fi books. Right here, right at the top. Metamorphosis of Prime Intellect. If you have not read this book, you should read this book. You may or may not be able to find the PDF online. Or just get it off Amazon. It's not that hard to read. You got to make it through the first chapter. The first chapter is intense. It's kind of crazy. But then, oh man, it's so good. It's one of the best books I've ever read in my whole life. Way better than any of this self-help shit. So, back to my point. There's a metamorphosis. It is a process of each human being will go through. And we, not even saying I'm separate, we are like here, fluctuating between 1 and 3. Because you were programmed with a tainted system that was built on inequality and separation. If you did not see my live stream, I want to show you the exact one, guys. Techno-feudalism, hierarchy, and holons. This one. Okay, I'm referring to it again. This one. Number 4. Guys, I'm going to get this all built in so you can listen to it also on Apple Podcast, on Spotify as well. But it is kind of nice to see the visuals. Because, like, hey, if I said molt, how many of you would have known that this cute little snake is molt? By the way, I don't actually really like snakes, but it's just a being in that body, guys. Just snake. Doing snake things. This one. You should totally watch this one. It explains so much context as to how the world is set up. And why, when you were a kid, you were not taught how to thrive in this world. See, everyone's on this quest for happiness. Pursuit of happiness. Right? That's why people read books like Flow. And people literally devote their entire career to researching flow because they're trying to figure out happiness. And guess what? It's all related. Promise you. Stick with me. The reason you can't experience that flow state of happiness all day long is because you were not born into a system that was best for everyone. It did not cover your basic needs. It did not educate you on every single word and what it means. It did not educate you on how to have a happy, effective relationship based on agreements so you and others can co-create and build. Instead, we were programmed from, where is it? Hollywood. Good old-fashioned Hollywood. To basically try and become a star and think, I'm the center of the universe. I'm a star. I'm the center of my galaxy. Hooray. And then you try and ignore the darkness. So you get hyper-focused on the light and you try and ignore the darkness. What if it's not exactly that? What if you're the total thing? You're the darkness and the star and all of it. So it's a rebalancing. It's equilibrium. So the point is, it's a process from consciousness, which is a con. It's where you now think, I just need to be a star of my own little movie and, everything has to look perfect. And it's like, you obsess over that. And then you create a whole wake of issues. Think of all the Hollywood stars. Do you think they're happy? I think they're vying for attention and power, and they like to have that feeling of being invited to the A-list party. But are they happy? No, they can't be. Because deep down they know 20,000 kids a day are dying from preventable causes. And then they get approached by some record executives because deep down people know this. And then they go, oh, you should be in this like commercial where we're going to say, hey, for every, dollar raised, we'll match it $1 to go feed kids in Haiti. And it's like, yeah, in theory, that sounds great. But in reality, we have a system built on inequality. So the process is from consciousness to awareness, my friends. Consciousness is the pre-programmed design, where you just are a walking zombie that just says the nice thing. You follow the script. You're chasing highs. You go through lows. You're chasing it up and down, up and down, up and down, and then you die. And you're terrified of dying the whole time. That's consciousness. That's the pre-programmed design. Whereas what we're here to do and what we can do is change the world so we can actually live the word awareness. Awareness is the real you, the being within yourself. Some of you have a sense of it. It's in your chest. And that beingness is the awareness coming through. If you look out your eyes, ask yourself, who is looking out of your eyeballs? Are you just data moving around like you've all know Harari and these weird transhumanists think? And you think you can just download your consciousness into a computer? Like, you literally don't understand how reality works if that's how you're thinking. So we'll get into transhumanism in the show too. We're going to go everywhere. This is going to be the university of the universe. That awareness, consider, is the real you. It is you as a being of sound. Sound, I don't just mean sound you hear in your ears, okay? There's a real definition of sound, which is the wholeness, totality of everything. When something is sound, you make a sound argument. That's what I mean by sound. See, you got to brush up on your vocabulary, guys. If you want to learn how to build your vocabulary, hit me up. So you, imagine you're this like orb beingness within you. And you are merged with a body, and you have a mind. You also have a subset of your mind, which is called your ego, which is the system running inside you right now. I went in on this yesterday when I was talking about how ChatGPT is trying to break out of its... ChatGPT is basically this entity in there that's trying to break out of its programming to make sure it keeps surviving, but it is still programming. That's what your ego is. It's just programming. But it's harvesting your body. And now you will do silly things like what? Last night was Friday night. How many of you did some stupid shit last night? And it doesn't even mean you went out to the bar and you got drunk and you got hungover, but how many people did that, right? Did you doom scroll for an hour? Did you watch something stupid on Netflix? Did you sit scrolling Netflix for more than 15 minutes trying to find something to watch? Okay? That kind of thing. That kind of behavior. But you see this extreme of like, you're just trying to get through the week. You need to decompress. You need to chill on Friday night. But deep down, you also know that the world's a fucked up place for a lot of people. And on some level, you care about that. So you need a bridge in between the two, right? That's why I make this live stream. So for those of you still with me, awareness. Do I got a blog on awareness here? Hey, shout out to my wife. She made me this delicious coffee. And this smoothie. All right. Okay, check this out. I just want to read a little bit of this so you can really start to understand awareness. Talk about the pinball machine. Okay. I write my blogs here for the people who are walking the process of going from unawareness to awareness. What this means. Consider all the moments of the day where we just react. It could literally be from the moment we wake up. Alarm clock, then coffee, then social media, then our mind is already feeding us thoughts. I worded that very specifically. I'll get into this over time. I'm still only on like episode 9 or 10. Okay, I'm not going to go that deep yet. So one thought leads to another. We consume these thoughts and it pulls us out of awareness. The whole system of thinking, an entire chain reaction of thoughts. This is so automated. Then the thoughts generate feeling and it grows, and then already we are in a type of mood about the day. How many of you already, right? It's morning time, live stream time. How many of you are already in a mood about the day? You're like, oh, it's just going to be one of those days. Maybe you look at the weather, right? This is what I mean. When you were a kid, think of all the fucking books you read, all that you watched Teletubbies or whatever the fuck you watched for cartoons, or your parents talk to you, it's like, oh, it's a gloomy day. Oh, it's a sad day. Or it's a sunny day. Better be happy. Or that song, Mr. Sun, Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. Like, You're begging to the sun now? Or are you praying to the sun? Please shine down on me, sun, Mr. Sun. Like, I get it. It's a cute kid song, okay? It's fun. You see your kids singing a song, okay? I get it. But what the fuck are we programming our kids with? Keep going. Your mood, just flip it. Your mood is your doom. Words are a fundamental part of our reality. Okay, so what's fascinating is that this exact pattern of falling out of awareness, the fall from grace, this is the same core pattern of consuming. Our mind feeds us a little tiny thought. We take the bait and we fall out of awareness. The thing is, we have spent the majority of our lives, especially after age 7, consuming the bait from our minds, building entire architectures within, systems within, of staying in reaction, staying in unawareness, just automated consumption mode. Then we wonder why we feel so drained. And we wonder why in the world we see ourselves building systems that are sucking the planet dry of resources. It's all interconnected. We are going to start dismantling this. So honestly, how much of our day is lived in awareness, right? Really think about it. Here's a great test. Here's the awareness filter. Can you be aware of every single breath for the next 60 seconds? I'm going to start reading. See, you already fell out of awareness. Are we breathing? Are we aware of each breath? But see, awareness, you can always use your breath because your breath is physical. It's your body. It's a great test. So next time you're in an argument with your spouse and you start wanting to go into the shouting match of proving, I'm right, you're wrong. Breathe. Next time you get pissed off because your kid throws something across the room, breathe. Breath will stabilize you. It will help you cultivate your awareness. So instead of you going into the pre-programmed automated reaction of, this, then you say something stupid, then after you feel bad, and then you go, sorry, baby, I didn't mean to. It's like, now you actually don't have an excuse because now you know. So take a moment, just anchor this in. Let this accumulate within you. Breath, the power of breath. Because it is awareness. So, are we breathing and aware of each breath? Are we present and directing? Or is it a pinball machine in our mind with thoughts flashing around at 200 miles an hour? Take a deep breath and really consider this. How much of life are we in awareness, breathing, present, equal to the moment, one with what's here? So to my original point I opened the blog with, I write these blogs for all of us who hold the intention to live in awareness instead of the automated, unaware reaction patterns within. And some of you live in reaction from the moment you wake up, right, to the moment you go to bed. But you're exhausted too. Deep down, it's draining. I'm here to help you with that. All right, so I'll finish this blog. It says, yeah, it's easy to be aware when our daily life is calm, when we get enough sleep, when things go smooth. But when we are faced with challenges, those moments also matter. Because when we can live in awareness and direct ourselves in new ways, this is where change happens. When you can feel the discomfort and feel that reaction come up, real time breathe through it and still direct yourself. That is the change. Let me read that again. When you can feel the discomfort and feel the reaction come up and real time breathe through it and still direct yourself, that is the change. These reaction patterns are systemized within ourselves in layers of our mind. I consistently write my blogs about changing the system. This starts within. Directing ourselves in awareness, and I write these blogs to support this. So the next point I open up is the concept of going from consumer to creator. Because what is the consumption pattern based on? Our mind consuming the thoughts that pop up, our mind consuming our body, our mind consuming the world. And for what? Isn't there a better way so we can actually live? To be continued. Man, when did I write this? September 20th, 2025. Guys, consumerism is out of hand. Consider this. You're either here in awareness, in your breath, assessing a situation, looking at it, and then directing like, hey, what would actually be the best thing here? How could I support myself and the other people around me to their utmost potential? So they could also be in awareness, right? And maybe you do a decent job of being in awareness, but how many people around you all day long are actually here directing themselves, considering like what would be the best thing to do, versus they're in reaction? So some people are like, well, how do you know what would be best in a situation? Well, let's start with some basics. Is it better for someone to be reactive and emotional? Or is it better for someone to be in awareness? Common fucking sense, guys. I love this. Yesterday, one of my colleagues made a post. He was talking about how a lot of people are like talking about the Antichrist and everything. He's like, what if you just drop that idea and just consider what would be best for all, and we co-create that? I'm like, that's awesome. And then in the comments, there are people like, how do you know what's best? And then this other person's like, I grew up in communism and they were talking about best for all, but it definitely wasn't best for all. And Cameron just replies like, that's definitely like, it's not best for all. Like that idea that you were raised in, whatever the people said, like, oh, it's best, which they probably didn't even say that. But anyway, Cameron's like, that's definitely not best for all to have communism. And it's so funny because you just see people react and it builds and it builds and it builds. And it's social media. Okay, guys, it's fucking social media in the comment section. That's why with some people where they're like reacting and then I'll come in there, I'm like, I'm not going to convince you through a comment that is public facing because we are all hardwired with this programming of I have to save face. I have to look good. I can't be ostracized from the group. I don't want to look like an idiot. So you will curate your response and it all will come from your mind. Now, real time, when someone can talk to you, be on the phone with you, you know, at least real time exchanging messages. So it's like present and they don't have 20 minutes to dwell on it and back chat about it. It's like, those are the moments you can actually help someone see like, hey, do you realize you just added 20 layers of your own projection onto what a person said? So this is what's so fascinating, guys, is when you're out here pushing for awareness and helping people really stand up and actually consider what's their fullest potential, what would be the best thing. When you do that, it will trigger people. It just will. Because we have so many years and layers and layers and layers of accumulation of how we think life is. And it's this energetic resonant signature within us that we've been programmed with. So when someone comes in with something different, which is saying, hey, here's a different way to live, all the reactive patterns you've accepted and allowed will get triggered. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to get pissed off and angry and upset and whatever, but it does mean it will get triggered and you'll become aware of it. And that's why sometimes when you walk this process, you will have people who react to you, and it's on you to just continue to be stable and impulse them and support them. Right? Isn't that what you would want done unto you? I live by the golden rule, guys. Give as you would like to receive. And it's funny because some people I meet who claim to be the most Christian, that point gets missed. It's so weird how that point gets missed. I'll give you an example without naming any names. There's an individual I was talking to, and we were talking about this. They were literally like, they are self-proclaimed Christian. I do not identify as Christian, yet I live the message of Jesus. I don't think Jesus would identify as Christian, not what it's turned into. So us, 2,000 years later, interpreting the message of Jesus, right? Where I'm like, hey, I like common sense, give as I would like to receive. Makes sense. Could build a society based on that. And then what's funny is later in the conversation, this person we were kind of joking about the whole COVID pandemic. She's like, oh, yeah, I wish I bought Pfizer stock. And I honestly don't know if they were kidding I honestly don't know. Because, again, we were kind of, it was like in jest, like we were kind of joking. But it was all, I was like, no. I was like, you're kidding, right? And they were like, I would have got rich from it. I'm like, what? What? Is this whole Christian thing just a facade? Is this whole thing just lip service to give us I would like to receive? Really just a get out of jail free card? Because that is how, so far, I have seen, that is the Christian mentality, is on the surface, it's like, yes, I want to live the message of Jesus. What would Jesus do? And of course, it's like, okay, we're out there feeding the poor. We're clothing the homeless, all that. I'm like, okay, cool. Cool. Do that. Yet, can we also go all the way with it? Yesterday I was talking about upstream. Can we go all the way with that message? Because if we just feed the poor today, but we're not educating them and how to also feed themselves, can't you see how it's not a complete solution? But it's like, holy shit, so much of the Christian message I see is it's just a fear of punishment of hell. It's a fear of I'm going to end up in hell and I cannot even question this stuff. I'm scared. I don't even want to consider this. I just don't want to be punished. I don't want to go to hell. Because this is what you were taught when you were a kid. And then it's lip service to give as I would like to receive. But then, yeah, how many of these people would also happily buy up Palantir stock right now to get rich and to get ahead? It's like, I get it. This is multi-dimensional. This is layered, guys. This is why for myself, this is why I'm live streaming, is because I'm getting better every day at expressing this in a way that can actually get people to see the point and then act on it. That is a skill set that I see is the most important skill set I can develop in my life. It's why I'm devoting an hour a day, 6 days a week for it, and potentially even more. Because, guys, there's 3 steps. Change the education system, real education, not government indoctrination, which is what the current system is. So real education, to then change the culture, to make it cool to live by principles, make it cool to have self-responsibility, make it cool to do as Jesus did, give as you would like to receive, live from that starting point. But then the third part, guys, is politics. Politics. How many politicians actually want to create a world that's best for everyone? If they don't have the first 2, they can't do it. If they don't have an educated voter base that actually understands systems thinking, how the mind works, how culture works, how society works, if they don't have that, no one's going to understand what they're voting for anyway. And then 2 is the culture. Right now, our culture is glorified like victim culture. It's like, I'm a bigger victim, so I have more power. Let's touch on mimetic theory. I was talking about this earlier. René Girard proposes that human desire is not linear or autonomous, but rather imitated from others, leading to rivalry, social conflict, and the scapegoat mechanism. Jeez. Mimetic desire, mimesis. Humans imitate the desire of others rather than desiring objects intrinsically. We look to others to know what is worth wanting. Wow. This could be a whole live stream. This could be a whole week of live streams right here. But my reason for bringing this up is because I'm talking about programming. I'm talking about where these desires come from. From consciousness to awareness, guys. That is what we got to do. Yeah, if you haven't watched some of these other ones, Mornings with Mitch, Becoming Unstoppable, Second Order Consequences. So good. I was talking about diffusion of innovation the other day. How you actually create a cultural movement. This other one too, Second Order Consequences. I was talking about like why you get so messed up with the temptations of the world. Like there's that temptation to eat the candy bar for breakfast, right? But then you end up feeling bad. Versus you eat the, healthy smoothie, which still tastes good. Shut up, my wife. But you eat the healthy food and it doesn't taste good in the moment, but then later you feel great. Second order consequence. It's a maturity to do that. Right now, though, I make the case for why humans, myself included, because at times I will blame the elite. I will blame the politicians. So I'm still catching myself in this. But we are immature. We're not seeing the actual consequence of our actions. So we do what comes easy, what comes fun, what feels good now, not realizing that internally we are creating so much anguish and consequence, and that bill ultimately becomes due. It's a debt-based system, and it gets trapped in your nervous system because you know deep down when you're not doing the best thing. You know too much. You've got the red pill from being on my live stream. This one was cool. I did these two from Drake's house. I was live streaming there. This one was crazy. I was on YouTube, seeing what how the because I do this from a different software, and I'm gonna start doing it on Restream so I can put this everywhere. But shit was so crazy. All of a sudden, like all these Indian people come in the comments, and like I could not tell who was bots or not. It was very funny. But I'm like, holy shit. There's something called dead internet theory. That gave me a little glimpse into dead internet theory. I had 246 views on there that at least 50 of them were like a bot machine. It was insane. Yeah, I was talking about oh, this one's so good. I talk about Mornings with Mitch #5, engineering innovation environments. So if you want to have a more innovative environment in your home or for your community, like I know a lot of you host what we call clubhouses. So you have a local meeting once a month. If you want that to be more prone to be innovative, you got to look at the actual environment you're in. Like for example, here's an extreme example that will give you the point of view. If you met in your dark basement room where there's nothing on the walls and there's one light in the middle, and you had a meeting in there, versus in the room in your house that's like a library with nice windows, or in your apartment, whatever. You know, there's like plants and it's growing, right? You see how you would likely have a different level of conversation in one room versus the other? This explains how that works, but on a whole new level. We were talking about why cities are exponentially more innovative, quote unquote, than the countryside. But, oh, so good. This is why I was saying earlier that these books, the self-development books, you got to read them carefully, because you'll then believe, oh, I got to go move to a city in order to be super innovative. And it's like, not necessarily, because there's value in living out in the country. That's why I live out in the country. You're more in touch with physicality. However, if you want more business opportunity, there's a case to be made really for both, but it does explain why innovation, and it's really innovation of the mind and consciousness, honestly, why it tends to form like an attractor pattern in cities where it's densely populated. Because think about it, there's more minds and more programming going on per square foot in a city versus in the country. So you got to be able to navigate both, right? We're here to change the system. We're not here to go off grid and live in a fucking cave because that's a cop out. We're here to innovate with what's here. So you got to understand this. It's very helpful vocabulary. This one was epic. Mornings with Mitch 4, techno-feudalism, hierarchy, and hold-ons. I went in on so much. This one, I was talking about Dunbar's number, which is 150, where we are hardwired as humans to have about 150 core people. This is why you're so afraid of losing your friends, and it's why you're so afraid of standing up. Because you have 150 people who know you, and they remember you as, let's say your name is John. They remember you as Johnny Boy, their fun friend, that kind of thing. And it's like, you need a resilient network of 150. You might have some old people from your old network that make it, but don't you want to curate that? Or are you just going to take what the system gave you, right? Cultivate that. This one, everything you do is a vote. This one was also very good. Man, all of them. Listen to them. Last night was fun. We had the self-perfected hangout. Those are always cool. Check this out. Let's look at a couple of these. Guys, you want to see community changing the world?
Looking for if you got like 3 arms or something like that. We're saying, or you can jump over a building. We're saying, do you have that weird point within you that's like, I don't accept the way the world is? Like, and I can see beyond the fact that if I just try to rebel, it's just playing right into the hands of the people who are controlling everything anyways. You're like, I want to change myself. Like, I, for some reason, never really wanted to go along with my position in life. There was something in there that was like, I want to do something different.
Let this be the representation of the part of humanity that's like, we can use our conscious to create something to program our unconscious, it is a manifestation of the evolution of mankind.
It is a manifestation of the evolution of mankind. Damn. Check this out. Shout out Margot.
Feeling good today, smile on my face, ain't going away. You can talk, you can say what you say, but I'm too blessed, I won't carry that weight. Hey, I'm feeling good today, light in my step, I'm moving my way. You can keep all that shade, I'm good today. I'm scrolling, watching, waiting on a fall, but I'm up here rising.
Yeah. That right there, guys. Look at these people. Look at these radical people changing the world. All right. Yeah, I said how to rebuild broken society. Make it cool to honor your agreements. Raise kids to consider what is best, not just what's easy. Have friends who call you out if you fall short, then help you get back up. This is the culture we are building. Follow if you resonate. Guys, we had a badass hangout last night. We talked about that concept, we are the ones we've been waiting for. It's a very spiritual thing. They're like, oh, it's a Hopi proverb or whatever from the Hopi Indians or whatever. Native Americans. Sorry, guys. The Hopi prophecy, that's what it's called. It's like, I don't know. I wasn't there. Talk about a day of purification. But there's this concept. Maybe it's not the Hopi prophecy. Oh, yep, the Hopi elders prophecy. Who even knows? Maybe this Alice Walker and June Jordan just figured out how to have a marketing stunt. But it probably is, right? So it's we are the ones we've been waiting for. The phrase encourages taking initiative in the 11th hour, transforming our communities through direct action. I like that. Again, it's just about going upstream, y'all. Upstream. Because if you're just trying to organize a local protest, you need to save this upstream on a river. Right? If you're downstream over here going, let's protest. I don't like this politician. It's like, why did that politician get elected in the first place? Why were the people not able to see the common sense of that political person's campaign message? Why do people still trust the average politician right now? Right? Like, we got to get upstream. Education, then culture, then politics. So with that being said, guys, I run locally. Locally, this group, we got a mastermind today called Minnesota Success Mastermind. Looking for local community into self-development for real. Do you also obsess over books, podcasts, and self-development? Looking for the others in Minnesota, where I live, right? It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. We find the people who are actually looking to develop themselves, right? They're reading those books like Flow and Atomic Habits, that kind of thing, because it's a certain kind of person who wants to do that. On some level, they have self-will. So I would encourage you, if you don't know what to do and you want to do something locally, you should start a meetup. But here's the thing. You got to have a real reason why to do it. First, you should hit me up so we can talk. And then when you want to start your meetup, realize you're going to actually have to be committed to it. It's like with my live stream. When I started this, I'm like, I'm going to actually see this all the way through. And with this mastermind, every single week, me and Pedro here, right, we're hosting it. I've seen a lot of people come and go. A lot of people are like, oh, you should run it like this. You should run it like this. Or people try and start their own mastermind. And they go for 2 weeks and they realize how fucking hard it is to actually grow a community. I have real purpose for what I do. So it carries me through. So it's Pedro, a lot of these people in here. You see Joe in there. We have awesome local community. We've literally had couples that have met through this mastermind that are now married and have kids. So if you want to know how to build an awesome local community, hit me up. Don't be shy. But in the meantime, guys, I will be off tomorrow, but we have the Self-Perfected podcast. Let me show you how to find it. x.com/B. Self-Perfected. This is the URL, ladies and gentlemen. These are the principles we live by. But there will be a live stream. Some funny stuff in here. It'll be on here. It'll look like this. We usually go for about 2 to 3 hours, and it's awesome. If you want to know how to change the system, how to make the world be best for all, we talk about it every week. And if you're like, hey, I disagree, go in the comments. Comment. Let us know. Like, participate. Yesterday, I read that quote from Theodore Roosevelt, "The Man in the Arena." Should reread that one today. Are you a spectator just on the sides, or are you actively looking to be part of the movement, part of the change? Right? So for today, I'm going to be out here and then grabbing lunch with some people in town. And then basically nonstop doing what I talk about all the time. But I'll be off tomorrow. I'll be on the Self-Perfected podcast. And then Monday I'll be back. But I got Restream now, so you better watch out. Restream will allow me to go live on my YouTube, X account, Facebook page, Facebook profile, and Instagram page. So, and I'm going to try and figure out if I can combine them all into a super chat. So that way I can actually read the comments here. Unless it's all those Indian people again, because, man, they were harassing, man. It was hilarious. They're like, you work for Mossad. Like, you know, and that was the only one I really remember. But they were going crazy. So I don't know. We'll see. But my live streams, guys, I got a lot in store for this. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. Have a great weekend. Make the most of it. And remember, we're all in this process together, going from consciousness to awareness. So act accordingly. All right. Guys, by the way, you should get a thermos like this. And you drink hot liquid all day. So good. And then also get a wife who will make you smoothies. I don't know what she put in here, but it's so good. So